Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
How much is the value of an ear of corn? For farmers, they see thousands of ears of corn, and sometimes they just don't put much value on an ear of corn. Like Brian, for example. A few harvests ago, we had 200 grade school kids come out to our farm at harvest time. They wanted to see the big equipment. They wanted to see the fields and learn about what was going on and how crop production worked. And Brian was feeling pretty generous that day, and one of the kids had asked, can I have an ear of corn? And Brian's like, sure, yeah, you all can have an ear of corn. So all the kids got an ear of corn out of our field. And you think, I wonder if that was going to cost us a lot of money. And everybody was happy about this except for me, thinking about the money that we were going to lose out of the field. Man, this is going to really cost us. And the teachers, and of course the janitors. Now I say the janitors because the kids, as they brought these ears of corn back onto the buses, through the hallways at school, they're popping kernels off there. There are kernels of corn everywhere. The teacher said, guys, it was a great experience, and thanks for being so generous to give an ear of corn to each one of these kids. They really appreciate it. But just next time, give the ears of corn to us, not to the kids, so we can hand it to them as they go home rather than as they get on our buses and travel through our schools.
Okay, but here was the thing that day, and what I was trying to impress upon these little kids was just the value of one ear of corn is almost nothing. So let me just give you a quick example. Let's say that a farmer raises 200 bushels of corn per acre, and that's worth $3.50 a bushel. Okay, that's $700 per acre then. Well, if the farmer had harvested 35,000 plants on a per acre basis, that means that each ear of corn that he's got out there, assuming each plant has one ear, each ear of corn is only worth 2 cents. Okay, so even if you got 50% more, that's only 3 cents an ear. And I remember back when corn was $2, we would talk a lot about how corn was worth a penny per ear. Well, yeah, now it's worth 2 pennies per ear. So I always tell people, when you're farming, we're basically just picking up pennies all the time as we're going along through harvest. We have to pick up an awful lot of pennies to make anything pay.
So 200 kids times 2 cents a piece, that's $4, Brian. I think you owe me a couple of bucks
right.
for your generosity.
Right, so it's almost nothing. And I just asked the kids, what do you think an ear of corn is worth? And a lot of kids, $1, $5, $10. I go, nope, it's worth 2 cents. That's it. So it's not much. And that's the whole thing when we start talking about in society as a whole, oh, these farmers are doing pretty well and the farm economy is good. Well, you know what? The farmer has to do an awful lot of work, because just think about you. If there were a whole bunch of pennies laid down on the street, would you even stop to pick them up? But in effect, that's what the farmer is doing when he's out there harvesting.
But the farmer still has to protect all those pennies all through the year. He has to protect against insects and diseases, and also against weeds like our Weed of the Week. Can you identify this week's weed?